So I had watched one of Randall Weaver's videos recently where he had commented that he was coming up on his 5-year anniversary of making these vinyl community YouTube videos. So I took a look at mine just out of curiosity, and it turns out that I also am at that milestone, if you want to call it that, on December 1st, 2018, I guess is when I first posted on this channel. And there I had other videos on other channels, but as far as this channel goes, I guess that's 5 years. I think we can all agree that it's pretty much been a complete waste of my time. Welcome in. Thanks for stopping by again on such short notice. I'd hoped to do the final douche episode of the year this week, but I'm still waiting on one last release. I kind of wanted to get in there. Hopefully that gets here by next week. Otherwise, I'll just, I'll post that douche episode sans that item. So instead, for this week, I decided to show the 10 albums I listened to the most in 2023. And this is as per my streaming analytics. Many of you will probably have seen over the course of the last week people posting their Spotify, albums or artists that they played the most or streamed the most. So this is basically my list of the 10 albums I streamed the most. So obviously I listen to a lot of music on vinyl and other physical formats, and that's not captured here. But I think this could be interesting to someone, and really this is the only hard data that I have. I can't guess I can't go very deep in guessing what the most listened to albums are, but this is like, I have a list in front of me. I think it could be interesting or mildly interesting to some people. These are all 2023 albums with the exception of 2 that came out in late 2022. So I think about half of these are in my top 10 albums of 2023 list, which will be coming out later this month. So in the unlikely event that you also watch that video, you're gonna get some redundancies. Of course, you're gonna get redundancies anyway because I've shown all these records in previous videos. This is basically a rerun, which I do rarely. I try not to do too often, but I'm doing it, what the hell. So because my top 2 most streamed albums of 2023 are also my number 1 and number 2 top albums of 2023, instead of doing this in order of most streamed, I'm going to do it in alphabetical order. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's going to be I'm going to make this pretty quick. And then we'll have something a little different at the end. So this is somewhat of a 2-for-1. All right, this is the first of my 10 most streamed albums of 2023 for what it's worth. This is Blues Lawyer. The album is called All in Good Time. This is on Dark Entries Records. So this is a Oakland quartet, their 3rd LP, kind of jangly, fuzzy, say melodic power pop with occasional almost like mildly glam rock vibes at times. Boy-girl vocals, which will be a recurring theme throughout this video. This is one that was released in 2022, but I didn't actually get the physical copy until earlier in the year, and it made the top 10 for 2023 of streamed albums. This is the Parisian group called Eggs. The album is called A Glitter Year on Howlin' Banana. Prefect Records, and Safe in the Rain Records. 3 labels. This features members of Unintended Anna, debut LP. This is not to be confused with the 90s band called Eggs that released a couple albums on Teen Beat Records, but also worth checking out if you're not familiar. So this is kind of turbulent C86, maybe Feelies inspired indie rock. Some tracks are more muscular, others are more jangly. I think this is a really excellent album. Speaking of Unintended Anna, this is their album from this year, Principia, on Trouble in Mind Records. We call this, we're gonna say kraut pop, the great rhythm section, farfisa organ, horns, kind of dreamy vocals, has elements of classic French pop, modern indie rock, kind of subtle hooks that pull you in more and more with each listen. Next, and we're going in alphabetical order. We're now up to the F's. This is Flying Colors, 2 Y's in Flying and O-U-R-S for Colors. Melbourne shoegaze band, 3rd LP, kind of droney, dream pop. Maybe a bit more like of a wider palette versus the earlier albums. Certainly a must listen for shoegaze fans. Next one on Fat Cat Records, this band is called Holiday Ghosts from the UK. This is their 4th LP called Absolute Reality. This one's kind of ramshackle, jangly, almost lo-fi, not quite lo-fi or maybe just moderately lo-fi. Boy-girl co-lead vocals, full of earworms.
Take me up the set. I'm calling out radio.
Next, this is the second of the 2 albums from this list that came out in 2022 versus 2023. This came out, I think, in the fall of 2022. This is the UK group called the Oriels, and the album is called Tableau. This is a very ambitious album. I've seen people say this is their 4th album, but I think I consider one of those to be a remix album, and I don't consider that to be an album. Yeah, it's a double LP, kind of explores a lot of different territory, from R&B to electronic, library music, even house music, funk, surf pop. The earlier albums had more elements of like surf rock. So definitely not for everyone, but I'm still digging it over a year later. The Oriels Tableau. Next, this is in the R's. This is the Melbourne post-punk indie rock band called RVG. and the album, third LP of theirs called Brainworms on Fire Records. This has a lot of 80s new wave vibes, like the Smiths, Go-Betweens, with, you know, more modern indie rock going on. The band is really tight. I feel like I've been probably saying the same thing I said before. And the lyrics are pretty dark, but they're also, I would say, like super clever and sometimes very funny.
Now I'm something like a squid would be, using squid technology, living in a squid-like misery. A squid job and a squid TV. Oh, don't go back in time. It's not worth.
Another French band, this one is a duo called Special Friend, and the album is called Wait Until the Flames Come Rushing In, kind of part of the same scene as Eniton and Anna, Eggs, and others. This is a bit of melancholy, a bit of noise pop, a lot of 90s indie rock vibes. I feel like people probably say Yo La Tengo a lot. And it's another one with boy-girl vocals that I really like. Special Friend, Wait Until the Flames Come Rushing In. This one is a band out of Manchester called Sumos, and the album is called Surfacing. This is their debut LP on Meritorio Records. This is surfy, melodic, fuzzy, dense, power pop is one way, I guess, to put it. The last one of the top 10 albums I streamed in 2023. This is the UK band called The Tubs. The album is called Dead Meat on Trouble in Mind Records. This features former members of the band Joanna Gruesome. This is chiming, jangling guitar rock with lots of like 80s underground, like college rock vibes, but also with some like classic British folk rock, like, you know, late 60s, early 70s British folk rock influence as well. Definitely hear like Bob Mould's Sugar and Richard Thompson as well. This received the first Douche seal of approval of the year towards the beginning of the year, and it's still highly recommended.
I think I'm losing my mind for good this time. I think I'm going round the bend all over again. The pain in the arse, alone, and I lost you.
So I'd also intended to put up a separate video because it was the 5-year I guess it's been 5 years since I uploaded the first video to this channel. And also, so basically that video is just thanking everyone for, you know, everyone who's come and gone over the years. and in that video, I also answer some of the common questions that get posed to me in the comments, or also like just messages. But I decided that was an outdoor video. I decided to not actually post that independently. I might throw a couple of clips from that into this video. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and thanks everyone. Yeah, see you next time. Cheers. So one of the most common questions that gets posed to me, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, piecing together different ones, but it's something along the lines of I've thumbs downed every video of yours that I've seen, yet YouTube continues to recommend your channel. So like their complaint is that on their homepage they're seeing my videos even though they feel like they've sent YouTube enough signals that it otherwise should not be happening. I think it goes without saying I don't really have anything to do with that. But I can feel your pain. I watch a lot of different YouTube and different topics, and so I understand when sometimes the recommendations are not necessarily great. So I do have a few recommendations of things that you can do to prevent YouTube from recommending either my channel or some other channel that you prefer not to see in your feed. So number one, you need to make sure that you're unsubscribed. If you're subscribed to my channel or any channel, YouTube is going to assume that that channel is of interest to you, and obviously, therefore, maybe not obviously, but therefore will push or recommend, you know, videos from channels that you're subscribed to. I think that, you know, start at square one. I also strongly recommend turning off autoplay. You know, where when you reach the end of a video, it just selects the next video and just starts playing it. Yeah, because if as long as you have autoplay turned on, you run the risk of having one of my videos, unfortunately, you know, just starts to play. That's just how it works. And then I think one thing that this is the key is there is the don't recommend channel feature. I'll put that on the screen. That is the best way. So if you see one of my videos and you don't want to see it anymore, just select that do not recommend channel. And in my experience, you won't see them. Although I have seen where they will come back maybe, you know, like a year later or a couple years later, but generally speaking, that's a good policy.